Hello and welcome to Focus on Israel and the Palestinian Territories. My name is Paul Calvert. Psalm 62 verse 1 says this, "Truly my soul silently waits for God. From him comes my salvation." I'm with Eilat Leiber, the director of the King David Museum here in Jerusalem. Now you've just opened a new section here at the museum dedicated to General Allenby. Who was General Allenby?
Actually, General Allenby started as actually an officer, but he never meant to be a soldier. First of all, he wanted to be a civil servant and to work for the British Empire in India. But they refused to take him to the job, so he decided to go to the academy, of the army, and then he became an officer, and he was brilliant. So he became a field marshal, and in the end of the First World War, he served here in the Middle East. And he was sent by the British government to conquer Jerusalem. And he came here with the message that they want Jerusalem for Christmas. We're talking about 1917, and we are talking about the end of the Ottoman Empire that ruled the whole area, but for more than 450 years. This is a lot. And as you know, the Ottoman army, together with the Germans, were fighting against the British army here in the south of the state of Israel today. I mean, the area of Gaza. So he came to Gaza from Cairo. First of all, conquered Beersheba. And then, after he won this part of the war, he came towards Jerusalem. But here in Jerusalem, actually there was no battle because the Turkish left before he entered the city. After a short battle in the area of Nebi Samuel in the beginning of December 1917, he actually decided to wait and see how he will enter Jerusalem. But they did everything for him because they ran away. So in the night of the 8th of December, the last Ottoman soldier left Jerusalem together with Eilat Bey, who was the governor of the city. And they ran away to Jordan through what we call today Allenby Bridge, through the Jordan Valley. And in the morning, it was a very rainy day, the mayor of the city realized that he is here alone, without any army. So he decided, to go out and see what's happening here in the old city of Jerusalem, which was Jerusalem, we're talking about 100 years ago. And some policemen and soldiers here told him that no one's here, and the British army is surrounding the area of Jerusalem. So he understood that he actually needs to go and meet with them. And he collected some people from the city, from the different communities of the city, from the Christian community, from the Jewish community. He took about 15 people with him. And first he went to the American colony. The American colony was a small guest house, an hotel, and a center for Americans who came to Jerusalem. And he met with Bertha Spafford. She was the manager of the hotel. And she told him actually what he needs to do. He said, you must have a white flag, first of all. Otherwise, they will kill you because you're the mayor and you were here under the Ottoman rule. I mean, his boss left. So he was here alone. His name was El Husseini. And she took one of the baby sheets from the hotel and she cut it into a flag. She took the broom and she told him, this is your flag. You have to write actually that you are not going to fight, that you agree that the British now are the new rulers of the city. And together with his delegation and the flag, he went out to look for the British soldiers and commanders. So here, actually, we knew the story that left from the American colony because Bertha was wise enough to send the photographer Larsen. He was from Geneva. He was here taking photos of Jerusalem for the American colony. She sent him with a delegation because she said it's an historical moment, you should take photos. So we knew from the people of the American colony now they are holding an amazing archive of photos and documents and books from that time. That first the delegation with El Husseini, the mayor, they met two soldiers. And they ran to him and they ran to them and they said, are you the British soldiers? We came to say hello, we're coming in peace. And they said, no, we are just looking for eggs for breakfast because we were hungry. It was outside the city. It was near, Lifta. It's a small village. Now it's the entrance to Jerusalem, the current entrance to Jerusalem. We just collecting eggs for, from the farm here. We are not the right. And the story began, to be more and more bizarre because after the two cookers, they met two sergeants and they said, listen, we are not the commanders here. And they found themselves walking from one group to another one, trying to surrender. Yeah, to surrender. And just in the seventh time, they met the right person. The right person was the commander, General Shea. He actually was the commander of the groups here in the area of Jerusalem because Allenby was in Jaffa by that time. And Shea, he actually was the right person. He said, okay, I can see you are coming, with the right attitude, but this is not the ceremony. We will have to wait till General Allenby, he's the field marshal, he's the commander of the forces here. He will arrive to Jerusalem in 2 days because it took 2 days to come from Jaffa to Jerusalem, and we will make an official ceremony. So go back with your flag. Thank you for the flag. And he saw that Larsen is with a camera, and he said, what do you have inside your camera? And he said, I took all the photos because we met a lot of people. He said, no, you cannot use your photos because it's not official. I want you to destroy all of them. And Larsen, he was a real photographer, but he was also very afraid because, now they are the new rulers of the city, the British. So he actually kept just 2 of them. And we have them here in the exhibition. And we had actually to go back to the archives and to meet with a lot of scholars and experts to find out what happened because a lot of the pictures are missing. And the American colony was also part of the exhibition together with archives in London. We worked with the Imperial War Museum, with the Museum of Maidstone, because they kept a lot of information about the story. Also, we contacted the Allenby family, Lady Sarah Allenby and her son, Lord Henry, called after his uncle, grand uncle. They came here, and thanks to them, we had the private archive of General Allenby, and we discovered a lot of information about him. So it was amazing to discover that Allenby was a very interesting person. First of all, he was not just a commander, or soldier, because he loved poetry. And he used to read poetry for his soldiers every evening. More than that, he loved nature and he loved birds and animals. And, from time to time, from one battle to another one, he used to take his soldiers to outside to the field and teaching them about nature, about animals. He had his own scorpion, and he used to carry it, in his bag. He called him Hindenburg. It was the name of the German commander that he hated. So he was quite of funny guy, very clever, and he also knew the Bible very well. So for him to come to Jerusalem was very exciting. And we, as in the Museum of Jerusalem, when we came to do this exhibition, you must know that people here in Jerusalem know a lot about the history, of course about the modern history of the State of Israel. For me, as I was born and raised in Israel, we knew a lot about our history, but most of the time we saw it from the Israeli side. Now it was very important for us as a museum to find new information about the story, because otherwise why to, having a new exhibition after 100 years. So the story about Allenby was new for all of us, because most of the time, as Israelis, we saw, our point of view as, they were the bad guys. We had to fight to make them, leave Israel, because we had to fight for our independence. But it was amazing to see that this moment when Allenby is coming to Jerusalem after, the story with the mayor, it was a moment of hope for everybody. And this is very rare in history of Jerusalem. Because, first of all, Allenby decided to walk on his legs, like, pilgrim. He felt that Jerusalem is a different place. You are not coming to Jerusalem riding on your horse, unlike the German Kaiser who came here in 1898, and Allenby knew this story, and they had to, open special entrance for the Kaiser, let him drive inside the old city. He decided to walk. Another decision make it a moment of hope when he decided to read the declaration in 7 different languages. He wanted the people of Jerusalem to understand what he's saying. It was very important for him. And when we asked, for example, Professor Igal Shefi from Tel Aviv University, what's the message of the whole story after 100 years, he said one word, which was modesty. So when Allenby is coming to Jerusalem, it's a moment of hope because of his modesty, because he knows that people need help. And he is giving them a message of tolerance. He's saying that everybody can continue his own life, going to work tomorrow morning, continue visits the holy places of Jerusalem with no fear. And that's what made this moment different. It was a moment of hope for everybody who suffered from, the war, who suffered from the Turkish rule. And everybody shared the same feeling. And that was we found amazing, because in historical sources, you can see, for example, the Jewish community saw the story as the miracle of Hanukkah, because it was the beginning of Hanukkah. So we can see, for example, all the rabbis and the Jewish community are so exciting that he's here. For example, that every Saturday in the synagogues they are reading chapter of the Bible, right? It's called the Parashat Shavua. So the name of the parasha was Miketz, which is the end. And they're saying this is the end of our suffer, and Allenby is bringing the change for us. And from the other side, the Christians saw the story as a gift for Christmas. And it was just like, Lloyd George, the Prime Minister, said it's a gift for Christmas. And, after more than 800 years of Jerusalem as a Muslim city, now it's again back to Christianity. And who is the hero? It's Allenby. He is giving us Jerusalem back. But also for the Muslim community here in Jerusalem, it was a moment of hope, because they hated the Turkish governor, Eilat Bey. He was very cruel to them. And they waited that he will go away. And it was a common joke here that the Muhammad, the prophet, must come, that he will live. And then Allenby is here. Now his name in Arabic, Allenby, is in the Arabic word which means prophet, the Nabi. And they said he's the Nabi. Now it's amazing that everybody in Jerusalem was happy. Now we know that things are getting complicated after, but this week was an amazing week for Jerusalem, because everybody was so excited and so happy. So that's why we decided to go back to this week and discover more information about the history of Jerusalem about this week. And the exhibition is really showing all the details. And we had a wonderful collaboration with museums in England. So we have the original keys that Allenby got from the mayor. By the way, he died about a month after the event. He was very, very sick. But most of the scholars think he was so upset that he died. This is interesting. And we had a very interesting discussion here with the Allenby's families, Lady Sarah and Lord Henry. They brought here, for example, the original document about reading the name of the street in Tel Aviv after Allenby, because Allenby became a good friend of the State of Israel. He supported Zionism. He came here for the opening of the Hebrew University in 1925. Meir Dizengoff, the mayor of Tel Aviv, loved him and decided to call the streets after him. The Israeli artist Melnikov came to visit Allenby just before he died to make the sculpture of his face to put in Beersheba, the city that he conquered before Jerusalem. And Melnikov, he also did the lion sculpture in Tel Chai, in the north of Israel. So we had a discussion with him, and he wrote everything. And he said that Allenby loved the idea of the new Jewish state, and he said to him, if I have a message for you, my message is that you will have to focus on education of your young generation. This is the most important thing. And this is a very nice message from a person who, he was very successful. He was a commander, he was a general. So you would think that he would say power and army and weapon, but no, he's thinking about education. So this is very interesting to know.
What sort of artifacts can you see in the museum today?
In May, we're going to open a new exhibition about the cultural life in Jerusalem during the British Mandate. Actually, this place, the Citadel, became a museum during the British Mandate. So we found it interesting to see what happened here in Jerusalem. Exhibitions, festivals. We're talking about tourism. And of course, Jerusalem is changing during the British Mandate. It, from a very small, poor, neglected village, it became an international city. Not just because of the British role, also because of what happened in the world. And we're talking about the modern city. So the exhibition is taking you to the story of Jerusalem. So you'll be able to sit in the British salon or coffee shop and enjoy movies and music and feel like you're in Jerusalem of the 20s or the 40s. It's going to be a very nice exhibition. And during the summer, we're going to open another exhibition, special for the summer here. It's going to be figures making from paper of the Armenian artist who live in Amsterdam. His name is Karen Sargassian. He's coming especially from Holland to Jerusalem to make the exhibition. So we're going to have him here for more than 3 months. And we can invite you to follow the preparation for the exhibition. It's going to be different figures from history, different scenes from history. And we're going to call it in Hebrew, there's very nice children game called Stone, Paper, and Scissors. I don't know if it's the same in English, but again, with the inspiration of the citadel and the stone of the citadel, it'll be amazing to see the figures from paper here.
What's your website for people who like to come and visit the museum if they're planning to come to Israel?
Our website can offer a virtual tour in the museum, so you can visit our website. So it's www.tod.org.il, and you will be able to enjoy our permanent exhibition, The Story of Jerusalem, and enjoy a lot of information about Allenby, about the upcoming exhibition, and about our summer exhibition.
Okay, Eilat, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
If you'd like to know more about our show, you can join us on Facebook. Just look for Focus on Israel-Radio. Ezekiel 37 verse 4-6 says this, Again he said to me, Prophesy to these bones, and say to them, O dry bones, hear the word of the Lord. Thus says the Lord God of these bones, Surely I will cause breath to enter into you, and you shall live. I will put sinners on you and bring flesh upon you, cover you with skin and put breath in you, and you shall live. Then you shall know that I am the Lord, and the Jews will receive the real shalom peace.